Okay, please read the description before watching this video. Okay, let's change out the thermostat on a Dodge Promaster City with a 2.4 liter. This is the thermostat housing. It is all replaced all in one. You cannot just do just that center section. Also, they say do not touch, do not remove that center section. It can cause damage. So this whole thing is done together. This video is going to go quick. Pause as needed. Start by taking off the engine cover. There's a 10 millimeter bolt right there. After that one bolt is out, the rest just pulls off, snaps off. Two on this side, pull up, one on that side, engine cover comes off. You can see where those three little pop-offs were. Take off the two 10 millimeter bolts holding on the overflow tank. The tank just kind of comes out of a little pin, and good practice is to put those bolts back in their place so you don't lose them. Take the cap off, pour what you can into a container. Save if you want. Okay, we're going to disconnect or remove the battery. Starting with the negative side, just push this in, pull up and off. We have a little connector on this side. Take this little connector off. Okay, this connector is a little tricky. What I did was I use a little bit, a little flat-headed bit, stick it in the tab there, pull up on the tab. I can't use my other hand right now. Pull up on that tab while using your other hand to pull that off. We're going to disconnect the positive side of the battery. Pull this cover off. You got 3 nuts, 1/2 inch or 13 millimeter. Take those off and take the corresponding wires off of those. One more little wire, 5/16. And we have a 13 millimeter nut down there. With that nut removed, we take this strap, get that out of the way. Lift the battery up and out. With the overflow tank drained, we're going to remove this hose and this hose clamp. There's 2 ways you can do this. The one way is to just use a Dremel. Carefully cut this with the Dremel. If you want to reuse this, you can make a tool like me. Go to get a cheap pair of needle nose pliers, heat up the end till it's red hot, bend one side in. To remove this hose clamp, use your now special tool. You squeeze it like so. While squeezing it, I have to do this because I don't have hands. Use another small screwdriver to pop that off the other part, all in one motion. Now remove this hose from the overflow tank. Okay, with the tank out of the way, we have the hose end that you just took off. Get a small hose, doesn't matter what type, just tiny diameter. Push it down in that hose as far as you can go, hopefully enough to get down past at least to this T right there. And then feed the hose down to the ground. Now we're underneath the car. Take the hose, start siphoning off as much fluid as you can until fluid stops coming out. Okay, while that drains, go have a beer to get that lovely taste out of your mouth. We're going to take off this battery plate. Start by pulling up this plastic liner. You are going to have some resistance down over here. There's a hose. With it up and off, you can see a little drain hose there. You might want to blow that out, make sure there isn't debris so it can drain properly. We're going to take off the computer wires. There is one 10 millimeter nut up here, and these you just press in while lifting up, this lever. The lever pulls the whole thing out, starts pulling it out, and then you can finish wiggling it off. Pull the harness off the bracket, undo this little clip, and get this hose off as well. Additional wiring harnesses are attached to the bracket as well. Here, here, and this one. Remove those as well. Remove these three 13mm nuts and bolts to give you a gauge on how much coolant I was able to drain out. It's about 3 quarts. Also detach this wiring harness from that loop and the washer fluid bottle. Just kind of pry this up and off like that. Good practice is to cover these connectors up. Don't want any dirt getting into them. I use Ziplocs. Now we're getting a better look at the area we need to focus on. This is the housing, using either the Dremel or your special tool. Remove this hose clamp and this hose. Quick note, this was really embedded in there. It's like, it was almost like stuck. So I had to slowly peel it off. The hose was also very well stuck to its barb. Some channel locks around right where it is stuck, and a twisting motion helps break it loose. There we go. Now this should come off easily. With the hose off, now we can get this wiring harness out of the way. It's just a little clip. And you can begin to see 2 of the bolts that hold the housing on. This top one is a 10mm head. That lower one is an 8mm head. Alright, we got the smaller hose in the back of the harness with an interesting little connector here. You can kind of see what we're dealing with here. You take a small screwdriver and pry off this clip. Here's that clip to show you what you're dealing with, how to pry it off. Well, give you an idea how to pry it off. With that clip off, this just comes right off, and that's reused. So is the clip. Take off the temperature sensor connector, squeeze down on that while pulling. Give you a better idea what you're dealing with here. The red part gets pulled back, then you push down on that black little tab hard while pulling the whole thing out. Using a screwdriver to push down on that can help. Okay, the back side of the housing is kind of sandwiched in by a bracket here. So you got 2 bolts. One is actually going through the housing itself. The other is just above it. They're both 8mm heads. Take both of those out. And just know that last bolt holding on the housing is tucked way back in there. It's a 10mm head, and you're going to need a narrow 10mm socket with an extension. And I kind of have it in there, and it's kind of angled a little bit. This hose is in the way. Pushing down on that hose could help. All right, the harness is ready to come out. It's going to take a little finessing. Remember that back tab. Let's show right here. Remember, one of these tabs, the top one is sandwiched by that bracket. So the whole thing's going to need to slide a little forward to clear that bracket. Once you do that, I had to push this hose down and behind this barb and then wiggle the whole thing out. All right, one last connector, hose connector here, and that's the return tank hose. We've got on opposite sides, you'll see little squares. You squeeze both at the same time and then while pulling to get that off its barb. Okay, so reassembly is the reverse of what you just saw until we get to the next point. By this point, you got the housing on. You have all the hoses connected to it. You have the overflow bottle not fully connected, but up. Let's put that right there. Look, the hose is connected to the housing. We have the battery entire assembly on, the computer on, all connected. All the wires are back in their little holders. And we have to put fluid back in since there is no actual cap to open. That's why we left this off. I put a funnel into this hose and pour most of the fluid back in, minus, of course, at least enough to go in the bottle. After you pour it in as much as it will take, put this back on, bolt it back on, put the hose on. I ended up using a different hose clamp. I don't know. I don't trust those other ones, putting them back on. So I used standard hose clamps, but stainless steel so they don't rust. And then fill this up. You will have coolant still left over. Start the car. It should suck some out, and then you just keep putting into the overflow tank until it takes all the coolant that you drained. Quick note, if you are replacing the two hose clamps like I did yourself with some store-bought ones, they are 1 inch and 1 5/8 inches. When the engine is running, make sure you have the heat turned all the way up so the heater core can get recirculated through as well. And make sure you have the front of the car on ramps so that it's higher than the rear end, so that hopefully we can get all the air bubbles out of the engine so that this is the highest point, even higher than normal. Post-analysis, the old thermostat that came out itself wasn't stuck open, but there is a little check valve off on the left there that is stuck open. So that itself was letting a significant amount of coolant flow through the system when it wasn't supposed to.